difference. It made me really think about things and what it's all about, you know. That's the things that I miss most is those calls on the weekends, the calls at 11 at night. What's going on? When I meet my friend, you know, whoever she's with, a couple of her friends, I meet them, talk to them, and she always did that, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I really miss that, and she made a big impact on me, on other people, her family, but the impact that she made is so extensive on what happened here, and it goes so far. People from everywhere in the world, you know, are following things, and Xana has made a difference in their lives. So, you know, countless people, so that they might not even know her. They never knew anything about her. It's what they see, and they just love her and say how they wish that she could have been their friend. You know, could have been their friend, could have hung out, and it's like, this is the blessing, you know. This is what the little kid was, and definitely was a big blessing in my life, and so is Jasmine, and basically, you know, we worked hard to do the things we did, you know, through the times we were growing up, and through those times, I realized that I wanted both of them to graduate college, and that'd be the ultimate thing for them to do to prepare for the world. Then it came back to me. Xana didn't get to finish college. She had it all figured out, and this all just came back to me when I was there, and that little girl was on the plane doing that. It's like where I was going, what I was going here for, and then I just realized and thought to myself about the wonderful life that she had and we had together, and we, you know, I still get out with Jasmine, but that's the part that really counted. It's the part that really counted is those memories, and those are what I have left. The memories with her and the ones I can make with her, and the life that I can go on with now.
Hi, Crash.
Which is what she wants. And I say that in present tense because that's what she wants, because I've been told that, you know. I've been countless ways that she's out there and has a way to communicate, which I'm very grateful for. That goes to say that the impact of what happened to them, all 4 kids, goes so much further than just not me, the parents, the families, the community. It goes so far because a lot of kids, you know, in the colleges, just for an example, they locked their doors now. The door wasn't locked in the back. You know, Penn State or wherever it was, all the colleges, I know that I've heard they all.
This that motherfucker that killed those 4 students, 4 innocent students in Idaho about 2 years ago. Look how evil he looks.
And having the influence of what these kids, what happened to these kids.
Poor, beautiful girl. Beautiful.
All I know is I was 7 miles away when it happened, and she wasn't feeling that good. It was 11:30, and I almost went over to Susanna's to say, and I would have been sitting right there in that couch, and you would have to deal with me. So they would have had a chance, and I regret that. I regret not going, but the reason why I didn't is because Susanna said, "Don't be drinking and driving. You have to rent a car. Don't be drinking and driving." You know, the week before that, so she was
Hi, Arnell.
To do that, but I really wish I would have driven.
Hey.
You know.
We're watching a trial right now. Nice to see you, Arnell. Like, comment, subscribe.
At this point,
glad to see you today.
I just have to go on. We're gonna go on with everything and make things better in my life, because that's what it's all about. It's about closure and things. And the part that we miss is Santa, her influence, her smile, the things that she did.
I'll subscribe to you as well, Arnell. Thank you.
We have the memories left, the great memories, and she just wants us to make more memories and not be sad, upset, or shocked, or taken for that, you know. And that's what we're gonna do. We just have to. That's all I got.
Thank you for your words and your courage. Bless your family.
Thank you, Arnell. I'm going to do the same for you, my love.
Remarkably emotional courtroom.
All right, so they have more statements coming up.
Address Brian Kohberger face to face before his sentencing. Attorney and legal affairs commentator Ariva Martin is back with us. So, Ariva, what are we expecting for the rest of the day, and do we expect Kohberger himself to address the courtroom?
I want him to tell us why.
To hear from these family members, whether it's
No,
the parents,
Arnell.
the grandparents, or the siblings of these victims. As you've stated,
I like the news. I report on the news. I don't do roadblocks. But it is fun.
The impact these murders have had on their lives. Some of the victims' families actually addressing the defendant, telling him how angry they are about what he has done. After each of the family members are given an opportunity to give their statements, the court will ask the attorneys for the defendant if he would like to make a statement. Now, it is not required for him to do so. He's already pled guilty.
I want him to tell us why he killed them. Don't y'all want to know? Those are the 4 victims right there. Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, and Madison.
Would like to hear from this defendant and would like for him to give a statement about why he engaged in this heinous conduct, why he murdered their 4 college students. I'm not expecting this defendant, Manu, to address this court, because that has not been the pattern of what we've seen. Statements have been made by his attorneys, and I expect that will continue today.
Yeah, it's just so many questions about why he committed this heinous crime, and so much powerful testimony from inside that courtroom. Ariva Martin, thank you for sharing your analysis and insight, and we will continue to follow the sentencing.
Those are the 4 victims. Oh, man.
CNN News Central will start.
It was Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, and Madison. All right. So we're going to kind of pause it for a little bit, see what's...
Quantum computing can revolutionize our society. We are talking about amazing technologies that have the potential to solve very complex problems. We conjecture that quantum computers can...
We're following the trial of Kohberger. Hopefully, he states why he killed the 4 college students.
And we are very, very proud.
I want to know, what was his motive? What was his purpose? Was he obsessed with someone? Was he mad? Did someone do something to him?
For almost 20 years, we've been
Just outright crazy? I mean, he has to be crazy in order to murder somebody. Better yet, 4 people. And the fact that they did not give him the death penalty blows my mind. If you killed somebody deliberately, intentionally, you should get the death penalty. And this man killed 4 college students, 4 young college students. And he himself was a college student. He was a criminal justice college student. So he incorporated some things that he had learned. This was pre-planned. Kill him, give him the death penalty.
Right away if your breathing doesn't improve or worsens, or for serious allergic reactions like rash, mouth or tongue swelling, trouble breathing or swallowing, or chest pain.
Why wouldn't you want that?
Could be life-threatening. Serious side effects include increased risk of thrush or infections, or heart problems like faster heart rate and higher blood pressure. Ask your doctor if air super.
I'm telling you, if anybody murdered mine and I didn't get to you first and the police got to you first, I'm going for the death penalty. Because if I get to you first, oh, you dead.
I hope that she lives a long, great, happy life, and that she will never forget how Mom and Daddy love her.
But, you know, after all that, after all the investigation,
you can join the
found that you killed them by the police, I think that the justice system should give you the death penalty. What do y'all think? Do you think that Kohberger should get the death penalty because he killed 4 people? And it wasn't on accident. He did it on purpose. It was pre-planned. He stalked them. He waited until the perfect time.
That's the worst feeling in the world.
Not really perfect, because he still got caught.
Those that donate to St. Jude, I hope that you will continue to give.
Like, did he do that on purpose to be a part of a crime story?
Join with your debit or credit card now, and
You know, what was his purpose?
T-shirt that you can
Did he want his own crime thrill? That baffles me. But if you negatively touch any hair on any one of mine, I'm coming after you.
There's hope for our little girl to survive.
Let's cure childhood cancer together. Please donate now.
I can't believe we didn't use that back to book a couples therapist sooner. And this therapist will take our terrible insurance. Oh, well, people say that Eva Brooks makes them feel comfortable.
John Dennison has a certification in counseling for high-achieving couples? Booked.
You've got options. Book now.
She is still on.
Closed captioning brought to you by mesobook.com.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I don't listen to mean comments. Thank you. You're welcome, Gabby. I love you. I'm going to like, comment, and subscribe to yours as well. I love you, Gabby.
Welcome to CNN News Central. I'm Brianna Keeler alongside Jim Sheehan.
Right now we're watching the sentencing of Kohberger. His sentence has been reduced to 4 lives in prison, in which I think he should get the death penalty because he deliberately took 4 lives. You guys like, comment, subscribe. I'll do the same for you. Like for like, comment for comment, sub for sub.
Listen, one thing that has stood out in this, and I've been speaking to Steve Gonsalves, the father of Kaylee Gonsalves, one of the victims, is their in the courtroom, saying you don't matter. Quoting Kaylee's older sister Olivia earlier, she said, "Let me be very clear. Don't ever try to convince yourself you matter just because someone finally said your name out loud." And that was one of the most powerful moments, was when Steve Gonsalves physically turned the podium in the courtroom to face Kohberger, whereas the other witnesses who were testifying were facing the courtroom to make it clear, I'm talking to you, buddy, in effect. And it's just the strength. We heard from the victims' 2 surviving roommates as well, who gave heart-wrenching accounts of what they've endured since that horrific, bloody evening.
That was the worst day of my life. And I know it always will be. I am still here and I got to live. I still think about this every day. Why me? Why did I get to live and not them? I have not slept through a single night since this happened. I constantly wake up in panics, terrified. Someone is breaking in, or
I hope somebody killed him in prison.
Or I'm about to lose
Rape
someone
him.
else that I love.
All of it.
The fear never really leaves. He took away my ability to trust the world around me. What he did shattered me in places I didn't know could break. I had to sleep in my mom's bed because I was too terrified to close my eyes. Terrified that if I blinked, someone might be there. And then there are the panic attacks. The kind that slam into me like a tsunami out of nowhere. I can't breathe. I can't think. I can't stop shaking.
You know, and throughout it, at least I haven't seen him react. Brian Kohberger, the murderer there, just almost stone-faced as he heard this.
I will say he's incredibly stoic and has been through all of the proceedings when we have seen him, but during Kaylee Gonsalves' sister's victim impact statement, his eyes did seem to be responding quite a bit. She did seem to get under his skin.
Well, coming up now will be Xana Kernoodle's mother, Kara Northington. She's speaking now. Let's listen.
In me is greater than any evil in this world. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. I do not fear you or even let you rent space in my head anymore. This forgiveness has released me from any and all evil you have inflicted on me and my family. It has allowed me to let our Lord deal with you. You have accepted a deal that will prevent you from receiving the death penalty. Nothing man can do to you can ever compare to the wrath of God. Inevitably, you will stand before our Lord and will have to answer to him over the sins you have committed in murdering our children. I pray you come to the end of yourself before that day. Whether you like it or not, heaven is for real and so is hell. The innocent life of Xana that you stole from myself and my family, and the destruction it has caused. I am washing my hands of you and turning you over to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, whom vengeance belongs to. In closing, I want to read a passage from the Bible, Ephesians 6, King James Version. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and then in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, that ye may be able to stand in the evil day.
Damn, bitch, did you read this before you said you was gonna say it? Damn. I'm empathizing with you, but damn, read the shit.
I'm not going to share memories of Xana or any more of the goodness of her with you, because I do not want that to be in your head. I don't want it to be in your head. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve our good memories that we have.
I like that.
I do pray for you. I pray that you come to the end of yourself. I pray that before this life is over, that you ask our Lord and Savior in your heart and to forgive you.
I hope you get hurt so bad in
jail. But after the day, I wash my hands of you, and you are no longer a thing.
No longer a thing.
Thank you.
I hope somebody take him and rape him 10 times over with his eyes open. I would pay. If that was my family, I would pay for the torture.
Okay. All right, let's take an argument.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just as a housekeeping matter to start, there will be the issue of restitution. That is, the documentation is being gathered, and we ask the court would defer that for 30 days so we can present it in an orderly fashion and make sure it's comprehensive for everyone.
Any objection to leaving restitution open in 60 days? All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think it's necessary and appropriate to share, including the court, the background that brings us in front of Your Honor today for these proceedings. As the record reflects, and as everybody in this courtroom pleaded guilty to all 5 counts charged in the indictment. Under oath before Your Honor, he has admitted that the charges against him are true.
Mm-hmm.
He has reassured the court that he has not been coerced or threatened to make those admissions. And Your Honor did an extraordinary job in taking the pleas back on July 2nd. We appreciate the court's discipline and insight. The defendant has also waived appeal on the multitude of rulings from this court and Your Honor's predecessor in Latah County on dozens.
That's that motherfucker right there
of motions seeking
that killed 4 Idaho students.
Seeking to control or limit evidence, seeking to offer evidence that would not be appropriate. And we appreciate
He
the
needs
court's
to speak.
consistent rulings
Don't be a fucking coward.
based on the law, based on the facts. As Your Honor will recall, on June 18th, it's just really not that long ago, we appeared before this court for arguments on what became the defendant's final motions to this court. Motion where they wanted to offer evidence suggesting that other people were responsible for the defendant's actions. And the motion seeking essentially an indefinite continuance of the trial. It was readily apparent to all of us in the courtroom from Your Honor's comments that those motions were not going to be granted. So we returned to Moscow and continued with what we had been working on for months in preparation for trial. We had no qualms about going to trial if trial was what was necessary and appropriate. The following week after we were in court, we were approached by the
What y'all think should happen to him?
inquiry about a possible plea, and I can tell the court this is the first suggestion ever that
Put it down in the comments below.
Consideration, because indeed the defense had maintained from the beginning that Mr. Kohberger, the defendant, was factually innocent. It's clear that the reality of the evidence
Look at his
in the
face.
case that had been investigated and prepared and that we were ready to present in court became a reality. Our reaction, among other things, was to reach out to all of the families. And in fact, later that week, on Thursday and Friday of that last week of June, we met with representatives by teams, virtual meetings, with representatives of all the families. And we talked about the status of the case and the upcoming trial and things that related to the trial. And we also
Like, comment, subscribe,
let
y'all.
them know that there had been an inquiry about whether there might be an offer for a plea. And we asked the family members for their thoughts and feelings. And they were candid. And they have been candid since, and we respect that. And we understand, recognize, and acknowledge that there was a difference of opinion among representatives of the different families. We understand that. One of the challenges of this case, one of the unique things about this case is we have multiple victims, each unique unto themselves, their families and friends unique unto themselves, and all of them entitled to their opinions, all of them entitled to their thoughts. Over the following weekend, our prosecution team, very skilled attorneys who were personally as well as professionally deeply invested in this case, met. And we talked, and the decision was reached. Well, to start with, were there to be any sort of plea offer or discussion, there's only one possibility. And that would be for the defendant to plead guilty straight up to all charges. There would be no bargaining about counts. There would be no bargaining about reduced sentences. And so we made the proposal to the defense that if the defendant was willing to plead guilty up front to all 5 counts as charged and waive appeal of the court's myriad decisions during the past 2.5+ years on all these motions that would have consumed years, if not decades, of time in the future. By the end of the weekend, we were notified the defendant was prepared to plead guilty as charged and actually acknowledge his responsibility in court for these horrible crimes. Obviously, those discussions and negotiations were confidential. And as Your Honor noted, I believe that was necessarily so, because if the defendant had decided not to plead guilty, it would have been devastating to our jury pool for there to be public information that there had been even consideration by either party to a plea resolution. And protecting the prospective integrity of the trial after so many years was paramount. So, the end of the weekend came. We notified the victims' families of what had occurred. I recognize and acknowledge personally, and I respect the fact that of these fine, not everybody agreed with the decision we made. I accept that.
Kill him,
my
man.
Responsibility
Kill
at the
him.
end. I recognize that that's the duty of the office that I hold.
Like, comment, subscribe. What do y'all think that they should do with him?
It is time for the judicial system to impose final judgment and close the door on this chapter of these tragedies. As the court is aware, by the agreement of the parties, it is the state's prayer, perhaps have the Elmo police turn on.
He needs the death penalty. But I think they took that off the table because he pled guilty to all 4.
Thank you. Then on count 1, the felony burglary, court sentenced the defendant to the maximum period of 10 years fixed in the custody of the Idaho Department of Correction.
10 years?
Then on count 2, that the court sentenced the defendant to fixed life for the murder of Maddie Mogan.
Life.
On count 3, that the court sentenced the defendant to fixed life for the murder of Kaylee Gonzalez.
Like, comment, subscribe.
On count 4, that the court sentenced the defendant to fixed life for the murder of Santa Chernobyl.
Got life for Xana. Oh, so pretty.
On count 5,
God, that breaks my heart.
that the court sentenced the defendant to fixed life
For Ethan.
for the murder of Ethan Chapin.
Oh, man.
And the state further prays that these sentences be ordered to run consecutively, back to back, not at the same time.
He gonna be in there forever.
Recognize and respect the unique individuality of each of these beautiful young people.
Yes.
Whose lives were taken brutally
See his face.
and for no reason.
What is he looking like? He has no remorse, man. Send him to the chair. Kill him. Why y'all don't be liking to kill people?
Hopefully now, as we have heard
He killed 4 people.
Earlier this morning, it is time to afford the families and the friends and the community and the state of Idaho and the nation and the world.
Like the live, y'all. Like the live.
We can't undo, and we can never undo the horror of what occurred on the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022 at 1122 King Street in Moscow, Idaho. For a long time, the presiding district judge in Latah County was John Stegner.
You take one of mine, you get in the electric chair.
And justice of the Idaho Supreme Court. And Justice
Hell, I'll be my own lawyer. Fuck that.
Often observed.
You about to die. You gonna die on my watch.
Even God cannot change the past.
He deserves to die.
But everyone in this room has the ability to take themselves forward. And we want the judicial system to afford them the opportunity today to do that. From today forward, our memories should be focused on these innocent victims whose lives were taken, on their families, on their friends, on the community. The court has heard discussion, talk today, reminiscences today about a special family that our victims shared, not just their natural, legal, and biological families, not just their university family within their sororities, for example. But this family. This is the picture taken on November 12th.
God, that's all of them.
2022 of the special family of 1122 King Road. And you can see all 6 of these dynamic, vibrant, loving, special, innocent faces taken together just across the street from their residence. And barely 12 hours before 4 of them would be brutally murdered in their sleep. They've been described consistently as being bright, caring, vivacious, with futures we can only imagine now. But they were, and they remain, a special family that I think we should all recognize and appreciate. So it's time to move forward.
No remorse. Look at his face.
There have been a number of
Look at him.
statements directed specifically at the defendant today. I have one last thought. After Your Honor imposes judgment and sentences the defendant to spend the rest of his life in prison. In other words, sentence the defendant. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So they just sentenced Kohberger to 4 life sentences.
All right, does the defense have evidence to present today?
I think that he should have got the death penalty.
All right. Defense wish to make argument today.
All right, you better sit the fuck down. You ain't got shit to say.
All right, Mr. Kohberger, you have an opportunity to make a statement if you wish to. I take it you are declining.
Oh, you bitch. He didn't say why he killed them 4 people. He a pussy. He a pussy. Look at his pussy ass.
Please.
Such a fucking coward. He killed 4 college students. and don't have shit to say.
Start this morning by
Look,
acknowledging
that's the face of a
and
pussy.
those that have come here today in support of their loved ones, and I appreciate your courage and your strength. And I hope that you are able to move on as best as possible. Thank counsel for the professionalism that they've exhibited throughout this case. It has been my great honor to preside in this case and to help bring, to the extent possible, some resolution and hopefully justice to this case.
Declines to speak at sentencing. Such a pussy.
During the quiet morning hours of November 13, 2022, a faceless coward breached the tranquility of 6 beautiful young people.
Look at him.
And senselessly slaughtered them. 4 of them. Who committed this unspeakable evil was unknown for several weeks, but
look at that
due to the
motherfucker.
killer's incompetence and outstanding police work by numerous local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies,
Declines to
the
speak.
person that slithered through that sliding glass door at 1122 King Road now stands before the world and this court unmasked. This unfathomable and senseless act of evil has caused immeasurable pain and loss. No parent should ever have to bury their child. This is the greatest tragedy that can be inflicted upon a person. Parents who took their children to college in a truck filled with moving boxes had to bring them home in hearses lined with coffins. The loss this killer inflicted was not just the death of these people's children, siblings, grandchildren, as we've heard today. It has ripped a hole in their soul, destroying a special part of their very essence.
Look at his face.
Any person who is a parent defines themselves foremost as such. It is their existence and purpose of being. And it has been stolen from these parents. None of us have experienced the loss these victims have in the unspeakable way that they have. And therefore none of us can, nor should we, question the way in which they have handled their loss. Whether that be in private mourning, removed as far as possible from this media circus, or in front of a camera demanding retribution with the loudest megaphone. I've listened intently to the stories and pain that have been shared today, with great awe at the courage and resilience of the surviving family members of those wonderful children. I've listened also to the surviving roommates, both in person and through their friends. And I can't think of how, frankly, courageous they have been despite the hell that they have faced by uncaring people who have come up with all kinds of crazy theories.
Pussy.
About 2 kids simply being kids. The parents, siblings, and other family members who have spoken today are designated as victims in our legal system. But going forward, I hope that they can shed that label, as it gives too much power to the evil that condemned them to that role. They are and should be known as survivors, fighters, and foremost as witnesses to the tremendous lives of value and unbounded promise of these 4 young people. But those speaking today and those who did not speak, but who carry the same burden, this same loss, now carry forward the memories of these now perpetually young people, these forever children. These survivors carry the responsibility of ensuring that the voices of these children Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan are never forgotten, and the positive impacts that they have had on so many lives are never minimized, and that the love they shared, the light that they shined onto others is forever celebrated. As we sit here today, this case is ending, and we are now certain who committed these unspeakable acts of evil, but we don't know, and what we may never know is why. I share the desire expressed by others to understand the why, but upon reflection,
Look at that smirk on his face.
and this is just
I'll
my
slap the
opinion,
fuck out of him.
that by continuing to focus on why, we continue to give Mr. Kohberger relevance. We give him agency, and we give him power. The need to know what is inherently not understandable makes us dependent upon the defendant to provide us with a reason, and that gives him the spotlight, the attention, and the power he appears to crave. Yet even if I could force him to speak, which legally I cannot, how could anyone ever be assured that what he speaks is the truth? Do we really believe, after all of this, he's capable of speaking the truth or of giving up something of himself to help the very people whose lives he destroyed? Rather, I suspect the so-called reason would be dished out in enticing, self-serving, and aggrandizing untruthful bits, leaving people wanting more information, more insight, and thus enhancing even further the power he seeks to hold. Even if we could get truthful insight into his why, I suspect it would not in any way quench one's thirst for actually understanding why in the first instance. Because there is no reason for these crimes that could approach anything resembling rationality. No conceivable reason could make any sense.
Y'all like, comment, subscribe.
And in the end, the more we struggle to seek explanation for the unexplainable, the more we try to extract a reason, the more power and control we give to him. In my view, the time has now come to end Mr. Kohberger's 15 minutes of fame. It's time that he be consigned to the ignominy and isolation of perpetual incarceration. I know there has been concern about him collaborating on books or movies or other media projects, and I truly hope that someone does not stoop to affording him this spotlight that he desires in the name of clicks, royalties, or profits.
That's all he want.
Well, criminal behavioralists should study him.
Look at his
away
face.
from the spotlight in an attempt to prevent
This is a
other
bitch.
would-be killers from acting on their worst impulses. There should be no need for that to spill over into the public eye. The great Idaho jurist Edward Lodge was known for trying to find something positive about every person he ever sentenced. And with over a half a century as a trial judge, a lot of people. This was often challenging, and I recall in one case he said that the best he could come up with was the defendant had good penmanship.
He should have got the death penalty.
Truth be told, I'm unable to come up with anything redeeming about Mr. Kohberger because his grotesque acts of evil have buried and hidden anything that might have been good or intrinsically human about him. His actions have made him the worst of the worst. Even in pleading guilty, he is giving nothing hinting of remorse or redemption, nothing suggesting even a recognition or understanding, let alone regret for the pain that he has caused. And therefore I will not attempt to speak about him further, other than to simply sentence him so that he is forever removed from civilized society. And accordingly, based upon his conduct and based upon the record before this court,
Like, comment, subscribe.
recognizing the standards that govern this court's sentencing decisions as set forth in State v. Hill, I hereby sentence Mr. Kohberger as follows. On count 1, burglary, 10 years fixed, 0 years indeterminate. I also impose a fine of $50,000. Count 2, first-degree murder of Madison Mogan. I sentence the defendant to a fixed term of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, a fine of $50,000, and a civil penalty of $5,000 payable to the family of the victim. On count 3, for first-degree murder of Kaylee Gonsalves, I sentence the defendant to a fixed term of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, a fine of $50,000, and a civil penalty of $5,000 payable to the victim of the family, or to the family of the victim, pardon me.
Only
On count
5,000.
4, for the first-degree murder of Xana Kernodle, I sentence the defendant to a fixed term of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, a fine of $50,000, and a civil penalty of $5,000 payable to the family of the victim.
What's $5,000 payable? That shit don't even carry a cover a
I
funeral.
sentence the defendant to a fixed term of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, a fine of $50,000, and a civil penalty of $5,000 payable to the family of the victim. The sentences on counts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 shall run consecutively to one another. Restitution will be left open for 60 days. Defendant will be required to submit a DNA sample and a right thumb print impression to the Department of Corrections and comply with the DNA Database Act. I remain
Like the live,
in custody of the Idaho State Board of Corrections
please.
for to be imprisoned in an appropriate facility in execution of the sentence where he will remain until he dies. Though you've waived your right to appeal, you do have a right to file a notice of appeal. And any such appeal must be filed within 40 days of the date of the written judgment, which will be entered shortly hereafter. Though the appeal, you should be aware, may be deemed a violation of the plea agreement, and so I certainly suggest you discuss that with counsel if that is your desire.
He got 4 life sentences to not be served consecutively.
Public present to allow the families to be escorted out first before they leave.
All right, y'all. Let me know. You think that he should have gotten that, or should he have gotten the death penalty? This guy killed 4 students. He should have gotten the death penalty. On top of, he had no type of explanation as to why he killed them.
That is the end of the sentencing of Brian.
Well, all right. I'll catch you guys later. Thank you for joining the live. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
And Ethan Chapin.